Well, we picked up a winch the other day, and but of course it didn't come with a bracket for it to mount to, or anywhere for that to mount to. And anyways, what we're going to do is cut this plate down, make it fit a little better, and then that piece of square tubing I'm going to weld on the bottom of that so they can slide in into a hitch. And of course I need to make a mount for that on this plate. So I already marked it out, and I'm going to cut this out here, and we already drilled the holes. So anyway, with the whole safety stuff, so the other day I finally bought some type of goggles here. So I guess this is better than nothing. Anyway, here's that plate that I cut out. I welded it on here. Welds turned out pretty good for it being black paint on there because it was kind of rusty looking. So was the metal. But then I welded this on here. Probably have to shorten it up a little bit and drill a hole. This way you can slide that in the receiver on the truck, or I'll probably put a receiver on the tractor outside, on the front and on the back, and one on the boom. I don't know if anybody remembered that, but well, speaking of that, let's go look. Go over here and check this out. Yeah, this boom. As you guys probably seen on my other video, this is the engine and transmission and setup that's going in that station wagon that's been sitting around here for quite a while. And anyway, being these tractors, maybe they do, I don't have one. Actually looking for one, probably going to make one, but I need to make some kind of a bracket on the front here to hang tractor weights on the front, because this is why this is all such a rednecked up. I'm a redneck, I'll admit it. But anyway, this chain hoist did start out here at the end, and of course we didn't even hardly pick this up, and the front wheels on the tractor were already off the ground. So then we moved it to this hole, then we moved it to here and hooked the chain thing here, and still nothing. Then hooked it to here, and we was able to get it off the ground. But this little ear, the front of the subframe was still digging into the ground, which I left a pretty good groove from the barn all the way over here. But that kept hooking on stuff, so we went and got that chain fall, or come along, whatever you want to call it, and took some tension off the front, and that wasn't quite working. And the engine, of course, you could see I broke off one of the solenoids, which makes no difference. We got spare parts. This was all hitting here. So that's where that ratchet strap came into play, was we hooked this ratchet strap up to pull it away from that bracket there, which gave us a little bit more clearance, but the front wheels were still off the ground, not by much. So my buddy climbed up and sat on the hood of the tractor, and we managed to bring it over here, but cut a pretty good groove through the grass, especially over there by the barn, till I got a little speed up. Then it kind of packed all the dirt in the front of that and then kind of raised it up and skidded across the yard. You know, I left a little groove here, you know. But anyway, so as we were saying before, with the winch, I'm going to mount something up here so that I can slide that into, make some kind of a receiver for that plow, can't even talk, for the winch. Gonna put one up there, and then whatever I make for the front of here, look at this, all this junk, my plow rotting away. But speaking of that, that's gonna be another project for the near future. This whole bracket that holds this plow set up is rotted out, as we can see right here. This is all rotten. Same way on the other side. This part on both sides is rotten on the bottom and pretty thin on the sides. So, but yeah. Oh, not only did we do all this stuff, but being we couldn't. Apparently, the pump for the hydraulic lift is bad, or the pop-off valve or pressure valve, whatever, pop-off valve in there is bad, and the cylinder on the top that raises the arms is leaking too. So I need to get, I mean, it'll lift the arms and it'll lift some weight, but it definitely won't lift this weight. And so we decided to raise the arms all the way up and then take some ratchet straps and ratchet strap these arms up to the axle, which left us up off the ground. So I know some of you are probably going to say, well, why didn't I have this boom straight up in the air, which probably would have been able to make this you know, the engine and stuff come off the ground, but we couldn't get it out of the barn or out of the machine shed coming out this door. Well, or missed the rafters on this end of that machine shed. On the other end over there, you know, the rafters are way up there, and it could have worked down there. But anyways, yeah, we could have had this boom, you know, almost straight up in the air. I kind of made this so it can be all the way up, but I need to make another cut 2 more tabs and move them up here. That way I can get it to stand almost straight up in the air. It'll go pretty high though, like that. So anyways, you know, it needs tires. Them are all dry rotted. This one's got a hole, and it's got a tube in it which has got a hole. It only leaks sometimes though. That's weird. I think there's some stop leak in there or something. But anyway, so as we came out here to begin with, got to make a mount, you know, put a receiver up here up here where my hand's at, somewhere up here to mount that winch, and a pulley down there on the end. I know that 12,000 pound winch is overkill, but hey, it's what I have. I bought it for off-roading and, you know, other stuff, and plowing in the winter time, and, you know, in case I get stuck, you know, or pull somebody else out, you never know. But anyway, got to make a mount for there, make a mount for the front of the tractor, got to make a mount for some weights, some kind of a weight on the front, because with the upcoming projects and stuff, really like to have that boom working. And I think the other thing I'm planning on doing with my old black plow truck is, if you guys remember, the frame was rotted. It wasn't rotted, it was cracked, and it was flexing in the middle. Well, when we ripped the bed off of it, I believe what I'm going to end up doing is weld some plates in the rear end or on the frame to fix my cracks and whatnot, and then kind of beef it up in the back, maybe add a few leaves and build like some kind of a crane setup for the back of it, and then that winch will mount on there, and who knows, we might even make some fab up some kind of a wheel lift or something for the back of it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.